Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on this Hamilton Beach FlexBrew single serve coffee maker. It does K-cups and it has a reusable coffee filter that we can use our own coffee grounds with. This is model number 49974 and it's almost exactly the same as model number 49952. So they do have one that has a bold brew, but this one doesn't have it. Okay, so let's take a look at the coffee maker. Looks pretty nice. Around the back is a cord. Up here is where the water goes. On the right side, we got a little window to show us how much water we've put in back here. Because whatever water we put in back here, when we press this brew button, it's going to brew that entire amount. Here we've got to lift this lever here and that'll spring open. This is where we're going to put the K-cup. It's got a needle at the top. It's going to shoot the hot water in. When we put a K-cup in, we just put it in, and when we close it, it pokes a hole in the top and the bottom. There's the hole in the top. There's the hole in the bottom. This is our K-cup basket. There's the sharp needle at the bottom there. This is like a funnel. You always have to have the funnel in, but that's nice that it comes out so you can clean it. When we want to do our own coffee grounds, that's what this is for. We put it in there. It's very simple to operate. It's just got one button. You just press that button and it starts the brew. Let me talk about this for a little bit. There's where we put our coffee grounds. There's a max line. So you can't fill this thing all, even though it's really big. It only holds 2 tablespoons of coffee, which is the same amount as a K-cup. K-cups hold 2 tablespoons of ground coffee. So you put just what normal drip coffee maker coffee grounds in there. There's like a wire mesh. And then you close this. It's got a really nice seal. Close it. The needle's going to go in there. Shoot hot water and it's going to come out the bottom. Nothing pierces the bottom. And they have a nice little convenient storage for this. Not really. It's kind of hard to get in and out. But it stores right there, but you got to turn it a certain way for it to go in there, and it can be kind of time consuming. So this also acts like your drip tray. There's a little, this is a little metal thing. It sticks on there very good, and that'll hold a few drips. So with that installed, you've got about 5 inches, but you can take that out and put a travel mug, almost 8-inch travel mug, almost 8 inches. So front to back, this thing's about 10 inches. Side to side, it's only about 7 inches, 6.5. Okay, so with the lid open, it's right around, yeah, almost like 18.5 inches. This will fit under a kitchen cabinet. Kitchen cabinets are 19 inches. So you do have to have a little access, lift this up. And again, that's where you're gonna pour your water. You have to fill that water reservoir each time you do a brew. Okay, so here I'm going to cut open a K-cup before I brew it. And I've measured how many tablespoons. Again, there's 2 tablespoons of ground coffee in a K-cup. And it's inside a paper filter, okay? That's going to come into play because this one doesn't have a paper filter. It's only got a wire mesh, so you get a little bit of sediment in your coffee. So back to the brewer. Again, you're in control of how much you brew. So the minimum is 6 ounces. 8 ounces, 10 ounces, 12 ounces, 14 ounces. 14 ounces through 1 K-cup is a lot of water. That's the max. And there's only 2 tablespoons that you can put in a K-cup. And even with this, I'm going to show you, when you use your own coffee grounds, you can only put 2 tablespoons in there. So I brew my K-cups on 8 ounces. So you're going to fill the water reservoir up to the 8-ounce mark. The window is pretty nice to see. Right there, a little bit more. Now, the easiest thing to do is probably just to make sure you don't overfill your container. You know, just fill your glass up with water and use it to dump it in there. Close the lid. Now let's put our K-cup in. When we do K-cups, we got to make sure we got this in. And it does seem to go a little better if you push this down on the bottom needle first. Well, I say that, and then it's not working very well. kind of hard. Some people like to push their own K-cup on. That's kind of hard. I like to let the machine do it. So let's do another one. So just set it there, and then let's just push this down. Yeah, you got to give it a little bit of force, but it will poke the hole in the top and the bottom. So now I've got my water in, my K-cup, I've got it plugged in. Simply just press the button. That light's going to stay steady. If it flashes at you 3 times, that means your lid is not down all the way. If that light flashes at you twice, it's time to descale. I'm going to show you how to descale this with vinegar in a separate video. So it takes a little bit. I've pressed the button. I can hear it heating the water up back there. It's not a super fast coffee maker. What it's doing is heating up the water. Once it gets that water heated up, then it's going to shoot it through the K-cup. Okay, so I can hear it starting to boil the water a little bit. We can see the water's kind of moving in the window. Again, nothing's coming out yet. It's just kind of heating the water, then it's going to turn a pump on. Okay, so it turned the pump on after about 1.5 minutes. The temperature of that is 185, 191, 193, 194, 195, 196, 198, 200. So I almost saw 200. Wow, 200 degrees. That's pretty good. And then once it starts brewing, it brews pretty quick after that point. Now you'll hear that pump kind of running for a while. That's okay. That pump will eventually stop running, and then that light will go out. Okay. There, the light went out. It's all automatic. You don't have to do anything. So you just press the button one time, it brews. Now you've got your cup of coffee. Let's check the temperature of that coffee. Yeah, that's pretty good, 165. That's about a standard cup of coffee, 167. So I've been drinking coffee out of here a little bit. It tastes fine. It tastes like a pretty good cup of coffee. Again, I just prefer 8 ounces. That's not a lot of coffee. If you bump it up to 10 ounces, it does get kind of watered down. 6 ounces is a little bit stronger. Okay, so just got to lift this little handle here, and let's see how the K-cup did. There's the top needle. There's the K-cup. Now you can remove the whole holder. That K-cup can be hot, so be careful. But you're eventually going to have to take that K-cup off of there. See how it poked a hole there? So here we have that used K-cup. It poked a hole. Your coffee's inside that filter basket. The needle doesn't poke that filter basket. So here I've cut the top open. Let's push out the coffee. Again, that's really hot. But we can see there's the brewed coffee from the machine. Okay, so now let's brew a cup of coffee with this reusable filter. Again, you just open it up. This is hinged. You can't take that apart. You just use regular ground coffee for like a drip coffee maker. It'll say ground coffee at a medium grind. It doesn't usually say medium grind, but that's what it should be. So here I've got my tablespoon. I just hold it and dump it in there. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so it's getting really, so that's 2 tablespoons. I can put just a little bit more in there, not much. Again, that's the max line. Even though, see how big this cup is? This cup is huge. But you have to keep the coffee grounds below that max. So then you just close it. You got to kind of push down a little bit. We take the gray thing out. Make sure you leave the funnel thing in. It always stays in. Then you just set this like right there. There's a little handle for it. Close this lid. Put your cup underneath there. Again, I do 8 ounces. We're going to dump our water in. Each time you got to dump your water in. Right there's 8 ounces. Close this. Hit the brew button. It's a very simple coffee maker to work. And again, this light is on steady while it's brewing. You can hear the water boiling, and then it's going to turn a pump on. Takes about 1.5 minutes for it to warm the water up. And then it takes about another 30 seconds to shoot the water through the K-cup. Okay, so it's done. It tastes really good. You have a little bit of sediment in the bottom of your coffee mug, which you may not be used to, because when you do K-cups, you don't get that sediment because the coffee's in a paper filter. When you use a filter screen, you get just a little bit of sediment through it. It's not coffee grounds, but it's just a little bit of sediment. So there, that's what that looks like. Yeah, I wish that would have done a little better job. Sometimes normally I don't get that coffee in that little area right there. Cleanup can be a little tricky with this. Let me open it up. You can get some of those coffee grounds out, but you normally can't get them all out. So then you got to rinse it out in the sink. So you do get a few coffee grounds down your sink drain. Okay, so next I want to show you a freshwater rinse. So go ahead and put the K-cup holder back in. Again, make sure the funnel's in. That's the funnel. It only goes one way. Close the lid. We're going to put you can put 6 to 8 ounces in. There's about 8 ounces. Go ahead and start a brew. I want to show you, you might get some coffee grounds. It might be discolored a little bit. It's good to do these freshwater rinses about once a week. Or if in between, like somebody brews a tea or a hot chocolate, and then you want to brew a coffee, or vice versa, definitely do a freshwater rinse in between two strong flavors. Okay, so here we've got the hot water coming out. Be careful, that is hot, but you can see how it's discolored. There's a few coffee grounds in there. Those are freshwater rinses. Okay, so there you go. About once a week, I take this and the funnel. I'll take these over to my sink and kind of rinse them out with a brush and kind of clean them all up. So again, this light here, if you don't close the lid and you press the button, that's going to flash at you 3 times to let you know the lid's not closed. If it flashes at you twice, if you get 2 flashes, it's time to descale. That means your heating element has gotten some hard water deposits on it. It's time to descale. I'm going to do a video on how to do that with vinegar. This thing retails for $50. It's a pretty nice machine. It's very simple to operate. It's not super loud. It's not the fastest machine, but that's okay. Longevity-wise, I haven't seen a bunch of complaints on this on the internet, but that's not to say it doesn't have problems. I'll put a link to these glass mugs in my show description notes. I'll also put a link to this. Like I said, I am an Amazon affiliate. If you click on the links, I do get a little bit of money from the clicks, but the products don't cost you anymore. I buy all my own products with my own money. That's just a way of supporting my channel. They do sell a newer one of these that has a bold brew. So you can do a normal brew or a bold brew, which it just brews it a little bit longer. And then they do have another FlexBrew out that's a little more modern looking, kind of the same design. Thanks everybody for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe.